when I was 15 years old, I was in this other band called Cherry Wax. Now it's all coming back to me. So I was in this band Cherry Wax, then I got kicked out. They regret it until now, I'm sure. But anyway, I got kicked out. Taufik was in it, Topet, yeah. So, and so was Hasrul, and then for some reason I got kicked out. And oh, Joseph as well, Joseph Chen. Yeah, so that was like a really fun band. And then I got kicked out. And then, so the scene was, there were very few girls. And this other girl, Lynn from Brunette Fuba, this other band, said like, hey, do you want to form this band with me? Because she left that band as well, you know. So then I said, yeah, sure, okay, but I don't know how to play any instruments because in Cherry Wax I was the singer, not a very good one, but you know. So then she said like, oh, it's okay, I can teach you, you will play bass. So then like I was assigned to play bass. It's not like I chose it or anything, it's like bestowed upon me. It's like, oh, okay, it must be easy, there are 4 strings. Lynn, when we go jamming, Lynn would say, okay, press this, and then press this, and then press this. Okay, can. And luckily I learned piano before for like a year, and then I quit. So, you know, master of none. And then, so then she got a drummer, I don't know from where. She was very resourceful. So Siti came to join us, and then her friend Ayu was the singer. So like, yay, Psychosonic. What are we gonna play? We're gonna play punk. Okay. I don't know any punk songs, but that's fine. So, because I used to be an indie music lover, shoegaze and all. So after that, then we started playing, but you know, being all girl, even jamming at TNT, people will be like, hey, all girls are, and then like through the little window at the door at TNT jamming studio, people will be like, can they tune their guitars? What are they doing? You know, it's very nerve-wracking, but yeah, so that's how we started. Just, I think that was the time of the IRC days. So we had all these like IRC chat groups, like indie, shoegaze, and blah, 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 and I was part of that. And then that's how I met Mohammed online, and like, you know, the wee hours of the dark chat rooms. So he said, hey, do you want to join Astreal? I was like, oh yeah, sure, okay, great. You know, I love this music anyways, so that's fine. And it was such a huge departure from Psychosonic. So when I first, then he said, oh, I want to join, and I was like, yay. But then I was like, oh, okay. When I joined, then Melissa had left because her voice is so beautiful and she played the guitars very well. I know that, you know, people are like, this one, the indie scene people are like, this one from Psychosonic can play shoegaze or not, you know. And I did have a problem when I was singing. I was a bit too harsh because that was not, you know, kind of like my musical background, so to speak. But then after that, I learned. So yeah, so that's how I joined Astreal. It was really cool. But one thing, like when I joined Astreal, I felt more creative. You know, I was the band when we played. I guess when writing music for me is what Astreal taught me. When I wrote that first stupid punk song, it was me writing alone. But when I was writing with Astreal, it was really collaborative. You know, like, hey, why don't you play a riff first, and then you play this, and then okay, why don't you sing over this? And it was a bit unsure in the beginning, but then after that, okay, you know, no tune is stupid to them. So that made me more comfortable, and then, you know, I started writing songs, or at least contributing to writing songs. Yeah. We had when I was playing in Astreal, I started this other band called Eyeshadows, purely covers Riot Girl, because I think I wasn't done with the Riot Girl punk scene totally. So I joined Wan and Atan, Wan from Force Vomit, and we started playing like covers, and our first and only show was at the First Babies Ever. Yeah, First Babies Ever was like, oh, okay, yeah, so this is a gig with quite a few bands. We didn't realize it was the Babies. Yeah. But after that, you know, Astreal played quite a few Babies, I think maybe 3. And I was involved in, you know, organizing part of Babies as well. And so that was, Babies is quite dear to me. And also me and Jo Eung were part of this DJ duo called Beat, and we played at Babies as well. So that was really fun. Well, yeah, as an old geriatric punk rocker talking, I guess, you know, those days, in those days, we had quite a few obstacles. First, very, very little way of promoting yourself, right? It was the beginning of the internet. So your GeoCities website will be, actually GeoCities came like much later even. So yeah, very few ways of promoting yourself, and that's why, you know, we have zines and distro zines. And also we had that giant funny slam dancing band. Do people even call it slam dancing now? No, right? So slam dancing band that caused gig organizers to pay a down payment of $2,000, but still it was like, what? You can do how many demos with that? Demo tapes. So $2,000, which then in turn caused gig organizers to say, hey, if you want to play, you have to pay. It's like shit, right? So those are quite a few obstacles, but you know, I don't see it being like, oh man, this damn government, blah, blah, blah. I think it gave us a lot of color, and you know, it showed a lot of resilience. So we found ways around it, and then, you know, quietly the band went away. And also, I guess there were so few people then, you see the same gig faces all the time. You know, unlike now, obviously, I'm sure the kids have it easier, for the younger generation. But also there are so many avenues to get new music that there's a lot of competition, you know. But I would, having come from the past, like Highlander, no, I wouldn't, you know, be a whinger at all and say like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, why can't the government give us more support? I think the government, do I sound pro-PAP? You know, what I'm saying is that there's so many funds. I've seen my friends go to South by Southwest on government funding. My fashion label friends have printed catalogs and lookbooks on government funding. You know, this is just unbelievable. I think if you know how to like tweak it a little or play the game a little bit, you can get quite a bit of support. So, you know, just that's how different it was. You know, before government would be like, hey, you can't do this, and now they're like pushing it. Whether or not, I think if it's the government wanting to get, you know, economic benefits or whatever for the scene to grow, it doesn't matter. Just play to their tune because it benefits you, right? Being in one band is not busy enough if you're in Astreal. It's okay. Sometimes people ask me, oh, wow, you know, you do so many things. And say, yeah, I don't do them very often, so that's fine. So yeah, I guess, you know, but it's also time management. I guess sometimes if you're in a band for so long and you're only playing this genre and you want to be part of some other type of genre as well, so I don't see a problem, right? But you know, you have to put on different hats and act differently because shoegaze, well, you know, then punk, you're like, yay! So you have to be an actor in all these different hats.